Hello, my name's Donna Raymond, and welcome to my Wise Woman Dreaming blog. And today or this evening, I have a question here that I am going to answer, and that is from a beautiful sister, Arlene. So, Arlene writes in, what are some tips to help encourage self weaning for my 19-month-old? I'd like to do it without upsetting her, and I'm not sure how to go about it. So, Arlene, I think this is a really beautiful question. When I kind of tune into what you're asking, um, just for me personally, I don't actually resonate with the whole self weaning um, thing. And for me, I know just from experience of being a mother of two children, and I'm currently in the stage of weaning, is knowing that if my daughters had the chance, they probably wouldn't self wean until they were much older. Like they were titty monsters, right? So, just to reframe the question to so that I feel that I can respond to it adequately would be um, speaking with respects to conscious weaning. And for me, the decision to wean came about me actually going to TAFE and studying my art degree. And so it had kind of forced the issue to wean Aurora. And so I started weaning her when she was around 18 months old, which was a little bit before that. And the whole process for me was to slowly but surely drop a feed, and it depends on you and your child as to how you do that, but it eventually got to the point where Aurora was only feeding first thing in the morning and then at nighttime as well. So the nighttime was the big, like, nurturing and kind of bonding time for her that she really needed. um, I had a thing, it was just this thing that I wasn't going to fully wean until her eye teeth or her cuspids had come in, because I'd done a lot of research and I understood that those particular teeth coming into the gums that can go up and down can be a little bit of an intense experience for these little people. And I wanted to be able to offer the breast as a form of nurturing and just for that pain relief as well, because I didn't use any pacifiers or anything like that with my children. So that was like a goal for me, and it also allowed the child's own rhythm to present itself. So, with Maya at the moment, she's kind of cut all of her teeth. She, yeah, she's on a mission, that kid. So she's like getting it all done really quickly. Whereas Aurora had kind of started to cut her last eye teeth around 19, 20 months. So I eventually slowly weaned down to one nighttime feed, and the whole while during the weaning experience or process, I was talking to Aurora to let her know what was happening, to let her know that, she was becoming a big girl now and that soon she wouldn't need the boob. And when I started dropping the middle of the nighttime feeds, it was be like, you're waiting till the sun comes up, or waiting till you hear the sounds of the birds, or giving these cues and prompts that the children can understand. And I feel more often than not, we take little children's intelligence for granted and what they are actually capable of understanding and absorbing from their environment, particularly sensory information, which is nonverbal. So, your nonverbal communication as well. During the nighttime feed, it was a process of around 2 months. I did it quite gradually and slowly, and started off by giving her both breasts as she would feed off, and be talking to her as well and not allowing her to fall asleep on the boob. So starting sleep training as well, so that she would become familiar with a bedtime routine and a bedtime ritual as well. So then over those couple of months, I would kind of transition in more food at night time, and also feeding her a little bit earlier, because I knew I had this window of opportunity that if it was too late in the early evening, then she wouldn't eat as much, and then she'd fuss a little bit more and want more boob. So it became counterproductive if I left that nighttime dinner too late. So I would kind of feed her around 5:30. Around 5:30, because her bedtime was 6:30, 7 o'clock. And so it was just, gradually introducing more solid food and less breast, and also kind of timing or sinking in to how much she was taking from the breast as well, and then would just remove her from the breast. So eventually it was weaning down, and that way it was really gentle with my body as well, that I didn't become engorged when I weaned. It was just my body knew, due to supply and demand, that the weaning process was happening, and so it was just really gently. So it was around 22 months I breastfed Aurora for. Maya is just coming on to 21 months, around the same benchmark. They're born in the same month. And I remember the last feed that I gave Aurora, and that was really beautiful. And I thoroughly suggest to all mamas that are breastfeeding or even bottle feeding, when you have that really close, beautiful bonding time, particularly that nighttime feed, is to really imprint it and to make a memory and to celebrate all that you've done, and whatever level, whatever your journey has been, to be able to support and provide and nurture your child. And also, give respects and celebration to your breasts for providing this really beautiful elixir of life. And just take it easy the last night, that you'll know when it comes, you'll know that this will be it. And to make that conscious memory that that will be the last time that you offer breast to your child, so that you're also creating that emotional detachment in a healthy way as well. And I really encourage you to spend that evening having lots of cuddles and imprinting that moment, because one, you may not have another child. You may not have that experience with such a small little person again. And two is also knowing that that relationship dynamic has come to completion. So it's a rite of passage, not only for yourself, but also for your child as well. So just to pay deep respects and reverence for the whole process. But it's a really magical experience. For me, with weaning, I haven't had a problem with it. The evening after I'd weaned, making that conscious decision and really imprinting the memory of it. The next day, when I put Aurora to sleep, that was it. She just went down. She knew, because I'd been prepping her for it, and she knew it was coming. And when the night came that she knew that there would be no more booby, it was like, no, Aurora, it's time for bed now. And prompting her that, she's a big girl now, and that there's no more milk anymore. And she understood. She got it, didn't fuss, rolled over, had a really beautiful cuddle with me, and went to sleep. And for me now with Maya, I'm in that same process. She would be completely off the boob I'd probably by the end of next week. And at this process during the evening, she's not even really feeding that much. It's more of just a comfort suck. And you can feel when they're really drawing from your breast. So I'm starting to feel really empty as well. And I'm also feeling that transition in my body to go, this timing is right for me. I know that another cue for me to really instigate the weaning was these emotional responses that I was having, where it was kind of getting enough to have this little person on me all the time, and also feeling that I wanted my body back to myself, that I felt that my journey in offering the milk in service to my child was coming to completion, and that was enough for me, and that's all that I was willing to give and to offer. And I just remembered being really gentle with myself as well, because I remember reading, I'm pretty sure the World Health Organization recommends an average of 2 years for breastfeeding. And I kind of felt like when I was first time mum that I'd failed in some way, because I only made it to 22 months, but I softened into the whole journey, and just in a celebration, I was like, wow, I got to enjoy this experience for that long. And, I've spoken to mamas that have only had the opportunity to breastfeed for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And rather than playing into the guilt level, it's just to celebrate your ability to offer, and whatever that is. And there's all a process for that journey as well, that there is no right or wrong for your experience for your child, and that it's not of any benefit to be super critical of yourself either. So, yeah, just really tuning in. You'll also know um, there'll be a dynamic and this flow when you really feel ready, and knowing when your child's actually ready as well, because sometimes we can feel like we want to pull the plug early, like, nah, done, over it, and go to wean, and it creates this split in a sense. It can be quite traumatic for the child. So if the child's not emotionally ready to create that detachment, then your job and your role would be to really plug in and to do some really deep groundwork with your child during the weeks leading up to starting to wind down. So just being mindful that you're approaching that stage and to start build it up. So it's all a journey, it's a process that it pays to be mindful and be aware of when you're entering into that dance of weaning. And yeah, reach out and speak to other mamas as well. I know personally for me, that's just how I felt. It just felt right. That's what worked for me. And I had no dramas at all. And I've heard stories around that weaning can be this really intense, hardcore experience for both, um, you know, parents and children. And I honestly feel that it doesn't have to be that way. And I feel that so much is lost in communication, not just verbal, but on those subtle realms as well. So really plug in to your beautiful daughter and prompt her and prep her to know that she's ready. And even if that means that um, your partner, or for those watching, might be a single mum, somebody that can be a support person for you to create that healthy detachment as well. Whether you start by allowing them to have a play date with them, and you can leave your child with somebody that you trust, um, to create that. That's going to free up your energy as well of the mother, because you carry so much emotionally in your heart and your womb, these invisible threads that are attached to this child that you have helped co-create. So I hope that answers your question. If I think of anything more after I finish recording, then I'll write it to you personally. But yeah, so much love and many blessings. If anyone else has any handy hints, please comment under this video, and I would love to see a really beautiful, supportive network of women, inspiring and empowering other women through stories, sharing your stories, sharing what did work and what didn't work. I think that is a really beautiful process for learning and for understanding and finding ways that we can do things more peacefully, and also understanding if you've had a really shitty experience that was really hardcore, that you have garnered this new wisdom that you can then share with somebody else to make their journey a little bit easier. So,